All right, let's talk about sleep. But I want you to forget everything you think you know about getting a good night's rest. See, we're not going to talk about sleeping more, we're talking about sleeping smarter. We're going to dive into the science that lets some people sleep way less, but still wake up feeling absolutely sharp and totally energized.
You know that feeling, right? You get what's supposed to be a full 8 hours, but you wake up and your brain is just foggy. You feel exhausted, and you're already promising yourself you'll go to bed earlier tonight. But here's the thing. What if the real problem isn't the number of hours you're in bed?
And that right there is the big idea. We've got to shift our focus from just time in bed to effective rest. It's not about just counting the hours on the clock. That's the old way, and honestly, it often leaves us feeling drained anyway. The new way, the efficient way, is all about maximizing our body's natural recovery cycles. That's what feels energizing.
Okay, so this brings us to our first major insight. The quality of your sleep, it isn't really measured in hours. It's measured in cycles. The real magic, the secret sauce, is all about how efficiently your brain moves through its natural sleep stages.
So check this out. Every single night, your brain goes on this little journey through 5 different stages of sleep. You start with light sleep, go deeper, hit deep sleep, and eventually REM sleep. This whole trip, this entire sequence, takes about 90 minutes. And then, it starts all over again. Most of us do this 4 or 5 times a night. And trust me, understanding this 90-minute cycle, that's the key that unlocks everything.
So let's break down the 2 most important parts of that cycle. First up, deep sleep. I want you to think of this as your body's personal overnight repair crew. This is when your muscles get fixed, your immune system gets a major boost, and all your physical energy gets restored for the next day. This part, it's absolutely non-negotiable if you want to feel physically amazing. And then there's REM sleep. Now this one is all for your brain. REM is where you lock in memories, where your creativity gets a recharge, and where your focus for the next day gets sharpened. So if you want to wake up feeling mentally clear, on top of your game, you have got to protect your REM sleep. See, when these 2 cycles, deep and REM, are clean and uninterrupted, you get full recovery even if you sleep fewer hours. It's incredible. Okay, so now we get the why behind all this. Let's get to the good stuff, the how. I'm going to walk you through a simple, science-backed system to make 6 hours of sleep feel even more restorative than a sloppy 8. Rule number 1 is the foundation for everything else: consistency. Your brain absolutely loves a predictable routine. Going to bed and waking up at the same time strengthens your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm. And yes, I mean every single night, even on the weekends. This literally trains your body to know when it's time to wind down.
And look, this isn't just some nice suggestion, it's hardcore science. Studies out of places like Stanford have shown that when your sleep schedule is all over the place, it just confuses your brain. And what happens then? Your deep sleep, that crucial physical recovery stage, gets shorter and way less effective. The takeaway is simple. Pick a time and stick to it like glue.
All right, on to rule number 2. And this one, well, it all comes down to a single number: 90. Remember that 90-minute sleep cycle we were just talking about? Well, we're about to use it as our secret weapon. Here's how this works, and it's brilliant. You want to time your alarm to go off at the end of a cycle, never ever in the middle of one. You know that horrible, groggy, hit by a truck feeling? That's what happens when your alarm rips you out of deep sleep. So you plan your sleep in these 90-minute blocks. Just work backward from when you need to be up. Need to wake up at 6:30? Count back in 90-minute chunks to find your ideal bedtime. Okay, this next rule is a total game changer, and it's so easy to remember. It's called the 3-2-1 method. It goes like this: 3 hours before bed, no more heavy meals or alcohol. 2 hours before bed, no more work. Shut down anything stressful. And then for that final crucial hour before bed, no screens, no phone, no TV, no laptop. This is like sending a clear signal to your brain. Hey, it's time to power down. Now, how you wake up is just as critical as how you go to sleep. So, 2 things to do the moment you're up. First, get about 10 minutes of sunlight on your face, like immediately. This is the off switch for your sleep hormones. It resets your clock for the day. Second, get a quick jolt of activity. Splash your face with cold water, do 20 push-ups, whatever. It instantly boosts alertness and just wipes away that morning grogginess. All right, you've got the fundamentals down. For those of you who really want to take this to the next level, let's get into some advanced hacks. These are the kinds of things high performers use to really dial in their recovery.
First on the list, caffeine. And I know what you're thinking.
My afternoon coffee doesn't affect me, but the science says otherwise. Any caffeine you have after 2 p.m. can linger in your system for hours. And here's the sneaky part. Even if you fall asleep just fine, it can absolutely demolish your deep sleep quality, slashing it by up to 30%. That is a huge, huge hit to your body's physical recovery.
Next, let's talk about your bedroom. Your environment is everything. Your body is biologically wired to get the best deep sleep when it's cool, dark, and quiet. So you need to turn your bedroom into a sleep cave. I'm serious. Lower the thermostat. We're talking 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Make it pitch black. Use blackout curtains, a sleep mask, whatever it takes, and make it silent or use some white noise. These are such simple changes, but the results are incredibly powerful.
And what about a racing mind? This is a huge one. When your brain is buzzing with to-do lists and worries, it's basically in a state of high alert. You can't sleep like that, but there's a simple fix: a mental declutter. Just spend 5 minutes journaling before bed. Get all those racing thoughts out of your head and onto a piece of paper. It's like you're telling your brain it's handled, you can relax now. This calms your mind and preps it for that deep, restorative rest.
Okay, so let's bring this all together with what might be the most important part: a total mindset shift. For way too long, we've seen sleep as this passive thing we have to do, or even worse, a weakness. We need to stop that. We need to start seeing sleep for what it actually is: your most powerful performance-enhancing tool.
Think about it. That old hustle culture badge of honor for only sleeping 4 hours, it's completely outdated. Real success isn't about who can stay up the latest or grind the longest. It's about who wakes up clear, calm, and focused. It's about who recovers the most efficiently so they can perform at their absolute best the next day.
So, I'm going to leave you with one question to think about tonight as you're getting ready for bed. Are you just sleeping, or are you recovering? Because there's a world of difference. And I promise you, when you finally crack this, you'll have one of those mornings where you wake up a minute before your alarm feeling powerful and clear, and you realize you never needed more time, you just needed better energy.